So Greg and I met in 1987 at my home church, and we started dating shortly after, and we've been married 30 years. It'll be 31 years on August the 4th. We dated 4 years, and it took him just a little bit long, I thought, to ask me to marry him.
4 years, that's not very long. When you got a sure thing, it just don't take long. But yeah, like Robin said, we've been married for almost 31 years now, and we have a 28-year-old daughter that lives on enjoying the West Coast life.
I knew we needed help in our relationship a few years ago, probably before Greg knew, and I was just very hesitant to say anything. I was afraid that if I recognized it, if I said it out loud, it would in fact be real, that we did need help. And so it took me a while to voice my concerns.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes we get so used to doing things in our own way, and I guess we just get kind of complacent, so to speak, in our relationships. And I realized that there was a deeper level in our relationship that I always had a desire for.
So when we decided we needed help, I did have reservations for a long time. But then when the time came that we made the decision to get help, it was easy. Getting started is really the hardest part of asking for help.
And I think I'm kind of like most people. I had a kind of reservation in doing the counseling because there's so-called a stigma attached sometimes to the word counseling. And counseling doesn't necessarily mean that you're a bad person or there's something wrong with you. It just means that you're willing to get an outside perspective sometimes of how things need to be, and maybe it'll help identify some of your weaknesses.
So my experience with counseling, I wish I could say was a walk in the park, but it wasn't. It was hard, it was difficult, not in the way that I felt like I was being attacked, but it was difficult because it was emotionally challenging for me, someone who does not like to open up their emotions and share. So every week I would be exhausted the next day, but each time that we did counseling, I was challenged in new ways to see myself and to see my role as a wife. So for me, counseling was one of the best things I've ever done for myself and our marriage.
And my experience was kind of like Robin's. It felt like maybe sometimes a personal attack because it was identifying those weaknesses that I had, and I had to learn to get over that hurdle and to try to identify those weaknesses so that they could become strengths.
So counseling has made a huge difference in our marriage and me personally. Actually, it's probably saved our marriage. That and God's grace and Greg's grace for me. It helped me learn to open up and allow myself to be vulnerable, allow my husband to see my vulnerability, and it helped me understand both of our roles. It helped me allow him to be that godly husband, like the Proverbs 31 husband, that takes care of me, not just physically but emotionally. So that's been a huge freeing process for me.
I think the counseling has most definitely been very helpful for me. It's been a way for us to learn how to move forward in a healthy way, to grow together, and to recognize each other's needs.
Currently, we are working day by day, and that's all we can do is work day by day. We're applying the principles that Don talked to us about. We are choosing each other daily before we choose ourselves, and we are looking for opportunities to strengthen our marriage. I would advise anyone that finds yourself in a situation like we did to seek out help sooner than later. We probably waited a little too long, but we didn't let it go. We sought the help that we needed because we were committed to finding the answers we needed to find and getting the help to be able to continue in a marriage. that we had committed to a long time ago. So I would advise anyone to take the step. Just take the first step. Everything else will fall into place.
And I would highly recommend that anyone that, whether you're going through troubles or not, it's just, it's good to have an outside perspective in things, because sometimes we get sort of caught up in our own routines that, that we need to refocus and bring in a different perspective on things. And I think that's been very helpful for me to do that. And I've learned that, happy wife means happy life.